how you doing, everybody? It's MrDoTheMath here, and today we're going to talk about distance formula. The distance formula, right? The other day we talked about the midpoint formula, and before we go into the distance formula, let's review the midpoint formula right fast. All right, the midpoint formula is basically the average between the given endpoints, right? That's x1 plus x2 over 2, and y1 plus y2 over 2, right? Now, there was a situation where we dealt with finding the endpoint if you were given the midpoint. And for some students, it was kind of confusing. So I want to make sure that we understand what's going on there. So when you're trying to find the endpoint, right, and they give you the midpoint, I use this formula, right? So I'd say the midpoint of the x of the midpoint or the y of the midpoint equals just one of these sections. So if we're trying to find the x endpoint, we're going to do x1 plus x2 over 2, and then we solve for the missing part, right? So let's use a point. So give me a point and a midpoint. Give me a midpoint, right? Give me any coordinate.
2,
2, 3. Okay. So if the midpoint is 2, 3, and an endpoint, give me an endpoint value.
8, 7.
8, 7. All right. 8, 7. So that's the endpoint. 8, 7. All right. We would take this endpoint 8, and put it here, right? And we take this midpoint and put it there. So we end up with something like this: 2, which is the midpoint, equals 8 plus x2, because we don't know it, times 2 over 2. You see that? We all good with that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So now from here we just gotta solve. So multiply 2 to both sides. So you're gonna have 4 equals 8 plus x sub 2. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna subtract both sides by 8. So then x equals -4, right? So that's the x value, right? That's the x of the endpoint. And then the y, we do the same thing except we use the y term. Okay? We okay with that? Do we need to finish it? You want to see the y one?
No.
Yeah, I want to see it.
You want to see the y one? Okay, let's see the y one. All right, so we take the midpoint of the y, right? And we'll set it y1 plus y2 over 2. All right, so here we go. We gotta have the midpoint 3 equals 7 plus y2, the unknown y, all over 2. We good so far? Yeah? All right, multiply both sides by 2. So I have 6 equals 7 plus y2. Subtract by 7. So then y is -1. Right? Therefore, the other endpoint is going to be -4, -1. Okay? That's how you find the endpoint if you're given the midpoint and an endpoint. Okay? So that's how you find the missing endpoint. We good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's go to the distance formula. The distance formula is a whole lot smoother, right? It derives from Pythagorean theorem, but we're just going to go straight into it. The distance formula. All right, and what happens with the distance formula is you know the formula, and all you have to do is substitute it in. And I hate saying all you have to do, but like just substitute in the given points. All right, so here's the distance formula, right? You got the difference between x1 and x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared, right? Now a lot of teachers might put the x2 first and the y2 first, but it really doesn't matter as long as you match those coordinates. So if I put the x1 here, I gotta put y1 here. If I put the x2 here, I gotta put the y2 here. That's the only thing that matters. That's the most important thing. Okay. All right. So from there we have these x's and these y's derived from two coordinates, right? So let's use the points in our notes, right? Let's use the points in our notes. So in the notes we have -3 So the point was -3, 2, and what else?
1 and -4.
1, -4. Alright, so that's x1, this is y1. This is x2, this is y2. Okay? We'll just take these values and put them there. So we'll have the square root of x1, -3, minus x2, which is 1, squared, plus y1, which is 2, minus -4, squared. Alright? Minus negative equals plus, right? So we have -1, -1, same sign, add and keep. So you have -4 squared plus 2 plus 4, which is 6. 6 squared. We all good so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. From here, we square it, right? So it'd be 16 plus 36. Alright, 16 plus 36 is 52. So now, from here you take the square root of 52. Yes, ma'am.
Do we have to like break it down?
You may or you may not have to break it down. What I would say is like either you're gonna leave it like this or you can leave it as a decimal. So they say like round to the nearest hundredth, right? And so 52 is close to 49, right?
Yeah.
Which is 7, right? That's square root of 7. So it's gonna be 7 point something. What's the 7 point what? Couldn't you calculate?
7.211.
Alright, 2-1. Right? So this is the length between these 2 points. This is the length of those points. Right? And that's the distance formula. Right? You use the formula and you substitute those points in. Okay? You all good so far?
Yeah.
Alright. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. Let's do the math out.